Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I am working as DevOps engineer. Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how we can set up our Kubernetes microservices, latency tracking, network diagram, and workflow. So what I've done, I've taken the sample application, this Fleetman application regarding the microservices. So this is the application link I'm going to show you from this GitHub repo. So if you navigate to this section regarding the GitHub, you will see this application has a very cool feature. For instance, regarding it shows the links for understanding how your microservices can talk to each other. So you can see simple things regarding that. But one thing I need to tell you that we are not going to cover Istio here. We just want to see, or we want to set up the latency. We want to set up the network route monitoring, and this is the video regarding that. So it can be done in few minutes. So let me show you how. So guys, this is the repo I've created for you guys, and regarding that, I need to show you that I've set up the EKS cluster, and first of all, I've set up the VPC, and then I've set up the EKS cluster, and then EKS add zone. Regarding that, all stuff I've already done in my previous videos. You can set up the EKS Kubernetes blueprints, and regarding the ALV ingress controller, how we can set up that. Videos are there. You can navigate to those links and you can simply watch those particular videos, right? So definitely, we are not going to cover that. Our setup, our goal of this video is to see how we can see the link between these application and how we can monitor the latency and traffic, right? So you see, this is our target group, and ALB ingress controller has been set up, and the traffic routing is properly set up on HTTPS, right? And if you navigate to this section, ALB is set up. This is the ALB, right? And this is the application load balancer controller. Set up with that. And this is the target group. And so simply, if you see this target is healthy and traffic is routing. But the point is that let me show you the stuff regarding that application noHT.yaml, right? So this is our application, and we have so many deployments and services, and we are actually contacting our web application right here. So this is the application, and our ALB ingress controller is actually contacting this guy, right? But how we can see the link between that? So for that, we need to set up some level of monitoring, and it is so much easy. So let's begin that. So what you need to do, simply navigate to this section, click this guy Kubernetes, and what you need to do, simply follow these steps, right? So this is just the example. What we are going to do, we are going to simply download this command. Download this targz, and let me take one fresh shell into my container docker exec interactive shell into sandbox. Let me do that. And so this is actually mounted here in this sandbox. And let me simply uh, copy this command. And what it does, it is going to download the tar.gz file, which is mounted on my /mnt. And it is going to simply extract that as well. So let's wait for a while, let it download, and then we are going to cd into that particular directory, right? And regarding the stuff with kubectl, if you see my cluster kubectl get nodes, everything I've set up, I already covered in my previous video. So that's why I'm not covering that stuff regarding the ALV ingress controller. Everything is going to be uh, available for you guys. So if I do ls here, and you see this Istio 1.17.2 is available here. You see this is mounted. So what we are going to do from here, we are going to navigate to this section, right? And if you navigate to the section samples and add zone, so you have this Jaeger, Grafana, Kiali, and Prometheus. So what we are going to do before applying these CMLs, so what you need to do, simply follow this step, right? So we are going to simply do the stuff. For instance, we need to add this repo. So simply copy this guy and paste it before applying the stuff. I've already added, that's why it says skipping, and you need to do Helm repo update because you need to make sure that you should have the latest version of these repo available, right? And then what we are going to do, let me, okay, these are additional commands. There is no need. If you want to see the values.file, you can do that and export these values.yaml into this file. But I've added additional files. But what we are going to do, we are going to install Istio base, right? So guys, this is nothing related to Istio in a way that, for instance, how easily we can set up the stuff without setting up our complete Istio because it is a little complex and complicated. So I'm going to show you the way if you want to just enable the monitoring, see the latency and all that stuff, you can do that easily. Along with that, in my later videos, I will cover the MTLS end-to-end encryption. If you're running the financial services right, you can do that part, but that is going to be the next video. So we are going to set up the HTOD. So similar stuff you need to do, but definitely we have already um, added these repos, so there is no need to do that. So, and I'm going to simply apply this chart. So what I've done, if you navigate to this section and let me navigate to the Istio system, navigate to this section, Helm releases. What it does, it is going to set up the release, uh, the next release, which is going to be the Istio D. So Istio D is the actually daemon which Istio in past merged Citadel and other daemons into one daemon, Citadel and other, forget the names, right? So anyway, so this has been deployed. So that's all we need. So if you see our pods in default namespace, these are the applications which I've already deployed, and these are set up through Ingress, right? And just normal application, but I don't have visibility and I don't have a network diagram. So how we can do that? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do simply kubectl apply here, hyphen f, and that's it. So what it does, it is going to simply install these Kiali, Jaeger, Grafana, and Prometheus. We are going to focus here on Kiali, right? And we are going to see what's happening in our architecture. So if you navigate to this section into the Istio system, right, you will see shortly the pods are going to be spin up, and one of the pod is going to be Grafana, Jaeger, Kiali, and Prometheus. So you're not doing any configuration, anything. So you simply need to clone it and apply this particular settings as I'm showing you guys, right? So let it finish. So once it's green, we are going to simply going to port forward to this guy. But what you will see shortly, you see it's in green. So currently we will not see anything in our Kiali. So what I want to show you, first of all, what um, you need to do. If you navigate to this section in my document, we need to label this particular namespace. For instance, our namespace is default, and we are going to set up this injection. And what it does, it is going to label that particular namespace with this in Istio dash injection enable. And by doing this, every pod in that particular namespace uh, will have a sidecar, and that particular sidecar is going to be Istio. proxy, right? So simply what I'm going to do, use this command, right? And what it does, it is going to label that. And let me show you from the UI as well. From the command line, definitely you can see that as well. So if you navigate to the section namespaces and default, you'll see this injection we have just recently added. And what I'm going to do, you can singly do the single way and I mean restart the deployment here. You can do that as well. But what I can do other way around as well. Um, I'm going to remove other tower. So first thing I need to show you that you see um, your deployment restarted that particular pod. What it does now, it has two um, containers, right? One is Istio proxy and other is your application, right? So now we are going to do the quick way around and simply remove the other pod. What this deployment does is going to restart all these pods, and you will shortly see that particular injection is going to be available in your pod, and you will shortly see pod with two containers. Now it's available. Now what I'm going to do, navigate back to the issue system and navigate back to the services section, and I'm going to simply do the port forwarding to the Kiali. Click this guy, right? And I'm going to scroll this down and open this port. You can do, I mean, you can use any local port. So simply click start and you will see the stuff regarding the Kiali. So what you need to do, navigate to this, navigate to the section graph, and this namespace has been selected, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on display. I'm going to click on these throughput, traffic, and I want to show you the input and output edges along with the security, where you can see the internal traffic inside your application, which are talking to each other, is going to be MTLS. So in my later videos, I'm going to show you how we can set up the complete TLS architecture, right? And you see, this is our unknown. And if you click this section, you will see some of the stuff, what this key means. So this is restricted external. But one thing I need to tell you that from our application load balancer, if you navigate to the target group from our application load balancer, and from that particular target, if I zoom in a bit, let me simply close this guy. If I zoom in a bit, you see all internal traffic with this padlocking is MTLS, and you see the latency, other stuff with regard to that, and you see what's happening inside your application, why it is not working properly. For instance, what is mean by this yellow line? So simply you need to click this show legend, and you can see what this mean. For instance, this is degraded, failure, healthy. So I can definitely need to check what is going on with my application. But the point is that that is how you're able to see the latency, traffic, and how you see each part of your microservices are connected together. And the other part I just want to show you, if you navigate to this target group, if you see, click this guy, and the traffic from the load balancer to your pod is actually, you see, on, if you check this health check, the protocol is HTTP. So I'm going to show you next video how we can set up this complete end-to-end encryption using the ALB ingress to your application. But this is the point I just want to show you. You can check how the traffic workflow is working in your architecture, how each application is connected to other application, and this sample deployment gives you a very cool understanding and idea how traffic is routing. For instance, you see we have a version of our application, risky and safe version, and some of the issues we have already seen in our application, how we can fix those issues. So you can see different graphs. For instance, we were previously were watching the app graph. You can see the services graph as well. So you see, this is the services graph, and we can see also the workload graph. So you can see these circles. What is mean by that? So these are the workload. Workload mean here are the pods. So this is the staff service actually contacting that particular pod back to that deployment, right? So this is how easily you can see and do the monitoring. And if you see the different architecture, you see our application sometimes working fine and sometimes degraded. So if I click the other section of my application, you see some of the stuff I'm watching here is working fine and some not, or actually navigating to the two version which we are actually contacting. So guys, this is the short video, and we are not actually implemented anything regarding, for instance, the complexity of which you might get, but the powerful features you can easily get by doing this. For instance, let me show you the other part. For instance, if I navigate to the Grafana, I'm going to do the port forwarding to this guy. Let's do that on 8080. Let me show you on other port as well. So you can do the same stuff on with, I mean, Kiali as well. So if you navigate to the Grafana Istio, we have actually already deployed the Grafana. So let it open, and if you want to see, so simply navigate to this section. You see Istio and some of the coolest graph regarding the, for instance, Istio service dashboard. You will see some of the stuff. So if you click this guy, you see this is our application, and this is calling this, and you see all the stuff is now available here. For instance, I want to see this application. You can see the monitoring latency P99, P50, and P100. Everything is going to be available for you guys with almost zero configuration, right? So this is it, guys, and definitely if you want to see Jaeger, you need to set up headers with regard to that. I will cover that video later in my video section. Definitely, you see traffic inside your application is MTLS, and but definitely for setting up the end-to-end encryption, you need to do different setting. I will cover that video later. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. And have a nice day.